So this morning I'm going to start addressing some of our Christmas cards. And I just wanted to show you guys the box that this came in. So I ordered mine through Vistaprint. I am not even remotely large enough of a YouTuber to be sponsored by anybody. I'm just showing you the box. I'm such a consumer sucker for packaging, and I thought this was so cute. So I ordered our Christmas cards, and I did labels, and they all came in this little box envelope thing. I just thought that was so cute. But anyway, I'm gonna work on addressing the envelopes and whatnot. So I've got my pens and my address book, but I just wanted to show you this. Probably saw this on Pinterest. I started collecting all of our Christmas cards because, well, let me show you what ours looks like. So I like to do photograph ones, and they had, this is so sad for the times 2020, they have COVID related ones. So it was basically, the theme was home for the holidays, which is adorable. So I did this, and this was our fall pictures we took. I think, when was that? That was right before my sister and brother-in-law came, so mid-October, I think. It took me forever to edit these off my Canons, but I got them. So here's the card, and then on the back, we just do happy holidays because we have friends and family that celebrate all sorts of different things. So I always do the generic happy holidays, happy new year, and then what I forgot to do, which I did one year, is I like to put the date down here because, this is what I'm getting to. I forgot this year, I forgot to put the date. I keep them in a photo album. Hopefully that's not too dark, but that helps with the glare. So Matt and I didn't start doing this till, this is the pictures we had taken a year after we were married. So 2017, and I have the front and the back with the happy holidays in the back. And then here's the one we did for 2018. That was at my mom's old house. And there's Mo with his little Christmas scarf on. And then this was last year. This is my Amazon one, which was very cute, but it's hard to tell with the picture is very blurry. So we ran outside. My older sister Sue took this after our shower because I didn't have any pictures to use and was afraid we weren't gonna have any Christmas cards last year. But my sister, quick, she was like, the sun's going down, run outside, let's take some pictures. So she got some really awesome pictures, and that was our card last year. So I don't know if I need both sides, probably not. Can I tell you though, these photo albums with this peel and then this back part is sticky. This was really hard to find. I think I found this at Michael's. I stumbled upon it. But I was trying to find this on Amazon. I had no idea what to call them. I was like, photo albums with sticky paper. There we go, there's 2020. But I think next year I'm gonna try to remember to put, I might actually put in my calendar for 2021 to remind myself to put the date down here. Just so that I don't forget. I probably could write it on the back, but it's already in there. So then we have this wonderful book of all our Christmas cards. Okay, so I only did one little pack of envelopes addressing because somebody was getting fussy, so I put it in my address book where I stopped. I only got to the D's. So this is a long process. Because someone was getting fussy. He said, I don't want to sit in this chair, Mom. So we're gonna go, what are we gonna do? Do you wanna fold laundry? We're gonna go do something so he can be on the floor. Right? Okay, so Paul took a very short nap, which is good. He only slept for about 40 minutes. He's been averaging like an hour and a half, 2 hours for his morning nap, which means it'll be easier to put him down for his afternoon nap. So usually after his morning nap, we walk Mo outside, but since he got up early, I'm going to start whole wheat bread because I don't have any bread for Paul to eat for like toast and things. So this is all about timing. It has to rise. So I wanted to get this mixed up and on its first rise before we go for a walk. Then when we come back and eat for lunch, hopefully it's time for the next step. Okay, so I do have a recipe for this. This is from All Recipe. Let me just get my scale, 2 grams. I just like doing bread recipes with the scale. It's more precise, and then I don't have to wash any measuring cups, so it actually makes my life easier. It says to add the yeast to the water. I don't even bother. I know my yeast is active. So this is a cup of tap water that's warm. This is a half a tablespoon of yeast, and I'm using active dry yeast. 3 tablespoons or about 50 grams of honey. I'm just gonna give that just a little stir just to kind of get those going. So you could just leave this for a minute just to make sure your yeast is doing its thing. So then I'm going to add 33 grams pour about 3 tablespoons of a neutral oil. This happens to be sunflower oil. I hope I have enough in here. It's like the end of the bottle. Oh my god, I just have enough. I do add salt here, but I'm gonna add that on top just so it's not in direct contact with the yeast. So next up is a cup or 113 grams of whole wheat flour. And then it's okay to add the salt on here. It's about 1/2 teaspoon. And I used kosher salt. And then lastly, I'm gonna add 300 grams or 2.5 cups of just regular all-purpose flour. And now I'm gonna get this on my KitchenAid mixer. So you can use the paddle attachment till this is mixed and then switch to the dough hook, but I don't wanna wash 2 different things. So I'm just gonna put the dough hook. It just takes a little bit longer. So after just a couple minutes, it's come together. So I'm now gonna turn it up onto high, and my machine is broken. The lock doesn't work, so I have to sit here and like hold it down. It's not a fun process, but it takes about, I'd say 8 to 10 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, here's what it looks like. Nothing too exciting. I let it go for 10 minutes on the dot. It was kneading. So now I'm just going to cover this with a towel. This is a nice clean towel. You were supposed to take this out and put it in a well-oiled bowl, but I don't want to waste another bowl, and this is just the way I always do it. So I'm gonna leave this with the towel on it for about 45 minutes. We're gonna go for a walk, and then while Paul's eating lunch and I'm heating up lunch, I'm gonna do the next step.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him. Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore. Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him. Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us
So we're back from our walk. It's actually a little bit warmer than it has been the last few days. I think it was probably about like 50 degrees outside. So it was nice. I didn't have to have my gloves on, be all bundled up. I had the Skip Hop toddler foot muff on Paul, and that was my timer. So the bread is ready. That worked out like perfectly. But the bread is ready to be shaped, so I'm gonna get that shaped and in the loaf pan proofing, because that has another long time to proof. We're gonna eat lunch, and I think I'm gonna do some more Christmas cards. Okay, so all I'm doing now is preparing my pan, and I am just going at it with some vegetable shortening. I don't know why I use shortening. You can make your life easier and use cooking spray if you want to do that. I just always use shortening with my bread. It's just what I do. So I'm just using a basting brush and kind of just going at it. So that looks good. That bread is definitely gonna come out. So that's good. I'm just gonna put this aside for a second, and I'm not getting rid of this brush just yet. I'm gonna use it in a second. Let me put this out of the way. Just gonna put a little bit of flour on my counter. I really need to get one of those like silicone scrapers. So I'm just using a spatula way up the, I don't know what you call the handle. And I'm just pulling it because I didn't put it in a grease bowl. So it does stick a little bit, but to me, this is definitely better than getting another bowl dirty. Okay, so I'm not doing anything other than making sure my hands aren't sticky. And you can just roll this in a blob and put it in your pan, but what I like to do is roll it in kind of a rectangle shape, and then I roll it up. Just what I like to do. Sometimes on a really good day, you can see like the swirl in the bread when you cut it, and that just makes me happy. Okay, so no rolling pin, I'm just kind of stretching it to a slight rectangle, maybe a little bit longer than the pan, but I'm actually going to roll it this way. So then what I'm going to do is, like I said, just roll. And if I see any air bubbles while I do this, I just kind of push them out. So then I'm just going to roll. If there's a lot of flour on as I roll, I just kind of brush it off. And then when I get to the end, you supposedly should be able to pinch these. Sometimes it, I know. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. And then this end part, I just kind of pinch that as well and kind of force it down. So I have this like seam here. Oh my God. Paul's going crazy. So pinch that, kind of pinch it all, gathering it kind of at the bottom. And then I'm going to place this seam side down in my pan. So I'm going to take this, and you can just kind of scrunch it. The only thing you really want to make sure is that seam is on the bottom, and that's because if it's on the top or the side, it'll just kind of unroll or bust open, and I don't want that. So he's in there. So let me put him here for uno momento. This is just a piece of plastic wrap, so I'm not dipping this again. This is just what's residual on my brush. This is just what I do. I just use this to kind of get everything off my basting brush, because it kind of gets like stuck in there. Mo, I don't have anything for you, buddy. And then just kind of a little bit. You don't have to go crazy with this. I've never, some doughs I've had stick to my cellophane and it just is annoying. So that's why I do this. And then I'm not wasting whatever's left on this basting brush. So then bring this back over here, and I'm going to just cover this with the now grease side down saran wrap. And I like to give it some room so that it can then proof. And then we are going to leave this for an hour, hour and a half, depending on how warm your area is. And what I want to see is I want to see it come above the pan. So it will basically double in size. I want to see it come over the lip of the pan by like a ½ inch is what I'm looking for. And it just depends on the day. It's pretty cold in here, so it might take the full hour and a half, which will be like exactly when I need to take Paul for his nap. So let's hope for the hour. So I would not say that this has doubled in size, but I am running against Paul's nap time, so I have no choice but to put this in. It did rise quite a bit. I was hoping it would rise a little bit more. So I'm going to bake this at 375 for, it says 25 to 30 minutes, but I don't rely too much on the time as much as temperature. I will use my handy dandy thermopen and take its temperature, and I want the internal temperature to be 190 degrees. And then I will take it out and let it cool completely before I even cut into it. It's tempting, but if you cut into hot bread, it actually makes it gummy. So you really want to let it sit. And then I will show you what it looks like then. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but the bread is way over 190, so I know it's definitely done. So what I'm going to do is brush the top with butter, just so the crust is a little softer. And I will let it sit in the pan for just like another couple minutes, and then I'm gonna flip it on a rack. Let it cool absolutely, completely before I slice it. Because like I said, if you cut it while it's warm, and I've done this and it happens, the bread gets like gummy, like almost like sticky or tacky. So you really wanna resist the urge to break into this now and wait till it's completely cooled down.